Simon & Schuster Australia presents Lion by Matt Rogers. Narrated by Dorje Swallow. Bad company corrupts good character. Menander. Chapter 1. Peter Forrest gazed out over his empire, all forged from nothing, and wondered just how the hell he'd managed to slip so far down the rabbit hole. Corruption never begins with a raging fire. It trickles into your life with an insipid flicker, so small you barely notice, and the effect of its power compounds until you're swimming in shit so thick it becomes impossible to crawl out. Forrest started on that path long ago, and its hold hadn't properly seized him until weeks previously. By then, it was far too late. He stood on a wide steel walkway, staring out over an emporium the size of 5 plane hangars laid end to end, walled off at the distant edges, but sporting a glass-domed ceiling worth tens of millions. The rectangular expanse rested atop 2 of the largest skyscrapers in Macau, connecting the 2 structures together to form an upside-down U. The entire complex had come with a construction cost of more than $5 billion USD. A fortune that Forrest had spent his entire life amassing in mostly legitimate ways. Of course, no businessman is truly noble, in the sense that at some point ethics have to be thrown out the window in favor of cost-effectiveness. But until his venture in Macau, he considered himself a good man. Funny how debt repayments can waste away any shred of morality, he thought. Mountain Lion Casino and Resorts had culminated with a final bill, including construction, labor, government taxes, and a million unexpected costs that came along with a project of this size, of close to $6 billion. Everything was calculated in USD, which added a further blow to his Australian fortune. Converted to his native currency, he was looking at $8 billion. The project had been a dream since his early childhood, and he'd been relentless over the last 30 years, amassing his fortune. Mining ventures in Western Australia had paid off, and he'd funneled the obscene profits into real estate, capitalizing on the booming Australian market. It had left him with enough wiggle room to greenlight the construction of what would amount to his magnum opus. But nothing ever unfolds the way it's supposed to. A cluster of movement from the edge of the walkway tore Forrest from his thoughts. He flicked his gaze away from the magnificent view and turned to observe the grim procession heading straight for him. 3 triad thugs, each of them in their late 20s.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?